All right, all right. Alachua, Newberry, whoever in here. I'm not evangelist, not minister, just normal dude. Just feel the need that he can come up and say something.
All right.
I got a testimony, quite a bit of testimony, but I don't have all day to be up here. But it just shows you that when you're somewhat lined up with God, what God can do for you. And it shows you that every single person that walks this earth has an angel assigned to them.
Put your mic up, son.
They have an angel assigned to them. And if they put their angel to work, you'll be surprised the things that's going to open up in your life. But a few years back, 5, 6 years ago, I was headed for damnation. And when I tell you I was headed for damnation, I really was. I was drinking horribly bad. If anybody know what double deuces is, I was drinking double deuces by the cases. I was buying anywhere between 10 to 15 a day, just by myself. No help, just me. You know what I'm saying? Me and my wife, we had issues about it, you know. But thank God she stayed here, you know. But I drank double deuces, liquor, you name it, I was on it. That was shortly after my grandma passed. That's when I really got out of hand. But at any rate, I was out one night, drinking, getting loose, shaking it like it is, you know what I'm saying? Ain't worried about a thing in the world. Ain't got no cares on my mind. It is what it is. Me and my wife were going through it, so I wasn't thinking about her. Didn't care about the whole situation with us or nothing. All I wanted to do was drink. When I was riding down the road one night, just before New Year's, finna get ready to bring in New Year's, and my car flipped. I had a small Chevy Cavalier, and my car flipped 2.5 times. And as you can see, I'm not a small guy, so being in a small car like that, you would assume that I would be completely messed up. But when I got out, I crawled out or whatever. Only thing came out of my accident was a few scratches on the side of my face. That's very rare. You really can't see it anymore. And a messed up shoulder, which is pretty much healed now. But if I had to say anything to anybody right now, my whole thing would be is God sits high and he look low. We have so many people out here right now that's their biggest struggle is money. They're so worried about their money, how they gonna pay this bill, how they gonna pay that bill. So therefore what they do is they get into selling dope, robbing, stuff of that sort. But if I can remember correctly, the Bible says that it's easier for a camel to fit through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to make it to heaven. So no matter how much you sit up here and think that it's good because you're making this money on the outside doing this and doing that, but in all reality, you're condemning yourself. Is it worth it? Is your soul worth being lost just to make $1 or $2? Is your soul worth being lost just to chase this female or to chase that female? You have to really honestly sit down and think about it, where 10 years from now you want to be at. If you was to die right now, are you content with your life? Do you think that God is looking down on you and satisfied with the way that you're living? If you can actually answer that question, I honestly don't think you living right. Because there isn't a soul out here that can probably answer that question and say, yes, I think I'm living right. Because there are so many different things that God considered to be wrong, but we consider to be right. The Bible says that we are considered as filthy rags in the eyesight of him. So if that, I mean, even his elect is considered as filthy rags in the eyesight of him. So what we have to really consider is, do we really want to just try until the day that we die to satisfy God, or do we just want to throw in our towel and condemn ourselves to hell? God is a good God. He's there always. Am I perfect? No. I haven't been perfect, never will be perfect. There's only one person perfect, which is God. And I I can only strive. I can only strive to be perfect. I'll never get there. But it's a changing thing. It's something that you got to do on a day-to-day basis. Your soul and your flesh, well, your flesh should die daily. Man should be on his knees daily because there is something that you did throughout that day that God did not see pleasing to him. So whenever we look at the world and what the world is going through, whenever we look at the people on the streets, whenever we see all this stuff that's going on, if you have any God in you, doesn't your heart just go out to the fact of how they're living and do they actually know where they're headed at? You see what I'm saying? Now, me personally, myself, I'm trying, and that's all I can do. I'm 29 years old. I still got my issues that I'm working out. My issues are my issues. You know what I'm saying? Your issues is different, but my issues is my issues. And I speak with God about that on a daily basis. Just because these are all, you know, God's people, that makes you God's people as well. God doesn't have a respect for individuals. He doesn't look at this person because this person is saved and turn his back to this person because this person is in the world. God don't work that way. If you want a closer walk with God, if you want to try to get yourself on the right path, he's right there with his hands wide open. He's ready. Those angels that's right there on your shoulders on a day-to-day basis, all you have to do is just ask God, please, God, come into my life. Help me, save me. Whatever your issue is, ask God for it and watch it get done. I have been in situations to where, for some of the people that know, I got a couple co-workers out here with me. I was out of work for 4.5 months. 4.5 months with a wife and 2 kids to supply for. 4.5 months. No money coming in. I got to feed my kids. I got to roof my kids. I got to put a roof over their head. I got to put clothes on their back. If they got sick, I got to take them to the doctor. How can I do that with no income? So I'm out of work for 4.5 months. But the God that I serve, he made a way every time. When the bills looked like they were finna go over my head and me and my wife was finna be on the streets, guess what happened? God put somebody in my path that had the money to be able to help me pay my bills. When my lights was finna get turned off, I had done barked up every tree, knocked down every tree. I was out cutting trees down, just trying to make a little money to feed my family. You know, I was out doing everything remotely possible just to be able to feed my family. Now, my point about that is never once did I turn to selling drugs to feed my family. Never once did I rob a man to make money to feed my family. I stayed on my knees and I prayed to God and he made a way. There is no one that can say that I wronged them during that process because me and my family stayed in church and stayed on our knees asking God to make a way. And never once was we turned down. We ain't get the blessing when we wanted it, but soon as the man put the note on the door saying, tomorrow if you don't have the money, you out. Soon as we got the note, probably 10, 30 minutes later, here come the money. This is how God worked. And like I say, I didn't have to go rob nobody. I didn't have to go and sell dope to people and do stuff like that. All I had to do was stay on my knees. It's hard. It's a battle. It's a tough situation that anyone hates to be in. But guess what? With God, you can do it. With God, you can do it. Anytime you try to put God on the back burner, that's when your life started to go down. Whenever you think that you can handle this stuff on your own, whenever you think that, oh, I don't need God, I can do this, no, you can't. And that's when your life is going to begin to crumble. Soon as you put God back into your life, watch how the blessings begin to pour. Watch how everything that seemed to be going wrong in your life is going to start to straighten up. Kids, some people wonder why the kids don't listen to them. Because the enemy is attacking the kids to get to them. People wonder why the kids is doing this and people wonder why the kids is doing that. The reason why is because we're not in God the way that we should be. Therefore, the enemy is going to use that every time to attack you. They attack you through your loved ones. They attack you through your finance. The enemy is always busy. But the thing that we got to remember is the enemy is only doing his job. Let's fire him. Amen. Let's fire him. Let's get him out of it. Let's get him out. There's nothing that he can do to hurt us if we fire him. Let's be the boss over him. Let's not let him be the boss over us. Let's be the boss over him. And let's get him out of our life for good. Because if